It's morphing time as we go back to the 90s in Saban's Power Rangers. Hi everyone, it's me, Ben Almaden, and welcome to the latest edition of Entertainment Zone. I'm here today for my review of Power Rangers. Now, I saw the film yesterday, which was Sunday the 26th, as I'd been away in London. But I had to see this one with my dad because I grew up watching Power Rangers religiously as a kid. Still watch it now, I'm not going to lie. I've re-marathoned all of Mighty Morphin on Netflix. So it just seemed right that the person who I watched it with growing up came to see it with me, and we both went to see it yesterday, and we both actually really enjoyed it. So the film is a reimagining of the hit 90s TV series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But for those of you who might be thinking, oh, it's going to be just as campy and silly as the original show, actually you'd be very, very wrong. Power Rangers is very grounded in reality. It feels very modern, very fresh and up to date, with a really cool spin on the characters. And unlike the TV series back in the 90s that was very action heavy, you know, it was monster of the week, fight, morph, 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 Zords, Megazord, boom, boom, boom. This actually expanded the mythology and the plot of Power Rangers a lot, and in fact this movie is very character driven. In fact, you don't even see them morphed into their suits for quite a way through the film. Yet it never feels slow. The pacing is great on this film, and you get to genuinely care about the characters. So Dacre Montgomery plays Jason, the leader of the Rangers. He's the Red Ranger, and he's a really great leading man. He plays the role so well, and he is a natural leader, and you can really buy into him being the leader of the group. However, the movie is stolen by the Blue Ranger, Billy, who's played by RJ Cyler, and let me tell you something, he is fantastic. He's got a lot of great comedy lines, some really funny moments in there, but he brings all of the heart to the film. He is, honestly, I can't sing his praises enough. RJ is definitely the breakthrough star of the film. I met up with David Yost when I was in LA last autumn, and David told me, he said, you know, RJ's a really great guy. What they're going to do with the Billy character is great. He's a lot more comical than in the original series, but fans will love him. And you know what, David? You were absolutely right. He was just fantastic. He really stole the movie for me. And you may have read that Billy was portrayed with autism in the film. And to me, it's done really, really well. There's Trini as well, played by singer Becky G. Now, Trini probably is the most undeveloped character in the film. She doesn't have much of an arc, which is a shame. However, Becky G plays her really, really well. I actually quite liked Trini's character. Now, Trini, why I mention her is because just prior to the release of the film, they revealed that Trini falls into the LGBT category. It's not explicitly clear whether she's lesbian or bisexual, nor does it need to be, but you know, the way it's dealt with again is really well. You know, Billy's autism makes sense for the character, it explains a lot, and it's done very delicately, and Trini's sexual orientation is discussed only in one brief moment in a line of dialogue, and it doesn't feel forced, like, oh, we have to represent it. It's just done so naturally, and it makes sense for her character, and it's a big step for the LGBT community too. I think it'll be very inspiring for young people in that community to have a superhero that represents them. Then there is Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, who we all loved in the original series. And Kimberly is played by Naomi Scott, and Naomi was great in the role. Very different take on Kimberly to the original series, which in a way I think is a good thing because Amy Jo Johnson was just so iconic. But I like the direction they took with her. Naomi does a really great job. And there's also Zach, the Black Ranger, played by Ludi Lin. Now, he comes off as a bit of a douche for the majority of this film, but as it goes on, you do kind of warm to him a bit more. But sadly, like Trini, Zach's not developed that well. Now, in addition to a relatively unknown cast, the film also features some major players. We've got Bryan Cranston as Zordon, and the film does a great job in expanding Zordon's role. In the original series, Zordon was there purely for exposition, whereas this film actually really fleshes out his character. We learn about his history along with Rita Repulsa's at the start of the film, and even Zordon goes through character development in this. There's moments where he's a bit douchey and he has to learn to be the wise sage of the group and the leader. And Bill Hader's just great as Alpha 5. I wasn't sure about Alpha when I saw the design for the movie version, but honestly, he's a really cool character. Not as silly as over the top as he was in the original. He does say aye once, which is cool, and Bill Hader just does a fantastic job playing that role. And now I mentioned Rita Repulsa, and again, a very different take on the character, but I like what they did. And Elizabeth Banks is a fantastic actress, you know. She's great in most things she's been in, especially The Hunger Games, and she really nailed Rita Repulsa. She has that alien quality to her, but she's so menacing. It's great seeing Elizabeth in such a dark role, honestly, Rita Repulsa is pretty repulsive in this. She does some really, really, you know, shocking stuff. And she was great. And I do hope we get to see more of her in possible sequels. There's some great Easter eggs, which I'll go into in the spoiler section, so I'm not going to spoil anything here, that fans of the original series will just freak out over. There's some cameo guest stars in the film, which fans of the original are just going to freak out over. There's just lots of little cool moments that really bring the nostalgia, and the film has the right balance of poignancy, darkness, comedy and realism. And seeing these strangers come together and bond and become friends and become these heroes, it was just amazing. The Zords look great. Honestly, I always thought Power Rangers should be done with Zords that looks like something out of Transformers, and we are getting there. They look amazing. Now, the Megazord, not as much, I'm not going to lie, but the Zords were cool. The soundtrack by Brian Tyler's great, and all in all, I've got to say, director Dean Israelite has just done a great job. I love the look of the costumes, the Zords. The cinematography in this film is great, and I'm just so glad to hear that people have responded to it so well, both fans of the originals and new fans. You know, Lionsgate and Saban have said they want to try and make this a 6-film series, and they're off to a great start. Also, the film does have a mid-credits sequence, which I definitely recommend you stay around for, especially if you're a fan of the original series, because it's a teaser about what's coming, and it's something that you aren't going to want to miss. The special effects are great in it as well. I've got to put that in there quickly. All round, I was just so impressed. I was so hyped for this film, and I was praying it was going to be great and not like another Godzilla letdown. But thankfully to Dean Israelite and Lionsgate and Saban, they've done a great job, so thank you so much for bringing Power Rangers back into the spotlight and into the modern day. So if you haven't seen the film, I thoroughly recommend you go and see the movie as soon as possible. I gave it 9 out of 10. And when you have seen it, come back here and let me know what you thought in the comments. But now we are going to go into the spoiler discussion. It's only going to be a brief one. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is your spoiler warning. Okay, so it's time to talk spoilers. So firstly, I just want to get my one niggle with the film out of the way. It annoyed me a little bit that we didn't see the Zords assembled together as the Megazord. You know, they all got pushed down the pit, and then I knew Megazord was going to come out. But it was a shame that we didn't see it assemble. That used to be one of the best parts of the show. I hope they remedy this in the sequel. I was overjoyed to see Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson back. They are the two most iconic Rangers of all time, the original Green and Pink Rangers. I love them both. Jason David Frank is amazing, met him many times, great guy. Amy Jo, we all love Amy Jo Johnson, let's face it. All of us who grew up in the 90s, we love Amy Jo. Jason David Frank, I always knew he was going to be in this film. Well, I didn't know for a fact, but I always hoped and prayed and had a strong feeling he would be. Amy Jo, though, came as a real surprise, and I didn't think for a moment she'd be in this film, so that was great seeing them together. It shocked me in the film that Billy died, but I also liked how he came back because, as I mentioned in the non-spoiler section, it really gave Zordon some character development. You know, he kind of went from being a dick to being like, okay, it's more important that I bring Billy back and, you know, really shape this team into being something that his team failed to be. And the opening scene, oh my god, amazing. When the Red Ranger was revealed to be Zordon, whoa, freaked out. That was friggin' awesome. And then seeing the Green Ranger was like, oh, and then realising that was Rita Repulsa was just great. I mean, I'd suspected it anyway through having the power coin on her staff from promo images and stuff, but to have the confirmation and see it itself was amazing. I loved how many Easter eggs there are, especially the Zeo crystal. I am wondering if this is eventually going to lead up to a Power Rangers Zeo film. God, I hope so. We had, you know, the Zords running as Go-Go Power Rangers played. Total throwback to 90s nostalgia. That was amazing. And then, of course, that mid-credit scene with the teacher asking, Tommy Oliver? Tommy Oliver. Like, yes, we are going to get Green Ranger. I was so freaking excited. And I mean, they're going to have to get someone great to play Tommy. You know, Jason David Frank has got an amazing legacy as that character, so it's going to have to be someone great to carry on. Yes, the film did have product placement for Krispy Kreme, but it was done so well, and if they're going to put it in, let's have it as somewhere that's going to be destroyed. Great, why not? You know, then I just want to briefly talk about Goldar. Now, Goldar was great in the original series. He was Rita's right-hand man and a henchman, and also Zed's right-hand man. So I hated that he did become like almost Monster of the Week style monster in this and had no real personality. I would rather have them maybe have one more fight scene, maybe fight this big monster first and then fight Goldar, you know. The putties look great though, I mean, that was a massive improvement. But yeah, Goldar was kind of disappointing, but I understand why they went the route they did. Also, seeing the Megazord bitch slap Rita Repulsa into space, amazing. I really thought we were going to see her land on the moon and build a moon base from the series. That would be so, so cool. I'm guessing the sequel, she may be living on the moon. We're going to hopefully get Tommy as Green Ranger. Cannot wait. And it'll be interesting to see whether we see the arrival of Lord Zed as well. Honestly, this franchise has got such a great future because it's got a very talented cast, and there's so much material to work from and also to expand on like they have. I'm so impressed. I loved it as a fan of the original series. I think it'll bring in a lot of new fans, but I want to hear what you think. Did you grow up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers? And if so, what were your thoughts on the film? And if not, if you're new to the franchise, how did it do for you? Were you impressed? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Don't forget, For all the latest film reviews and news, you can subscribe to me here on YouTube. Entertainment Zone's on Tumblr at entertainmentzone.tumblr.com, and I'm on Twitter at BLMaden. That's at BLMADEN. And until next time, guys, take care and speak to you soon.